tell you what, I am so fired up about this class more than any other class and any other NLU session that we've done before, because we've never had such a change coming, right? And the necessity to use all the things that we're talking about. Now, you guys are rock stars and you're doing well and we're crushing it. But now I just can't wait to see the gap, Chris, from what all of us are going to be able to do versus the competition that isn't really preparing. Right now, we may be ahead of the curve here a little bit, but the ability to do what we're about to do, you're going to be able to run circles around people. That's what I'm fired up about.
No, I agree. That makes a huge difference when you're in the right mindset, because it's like, I mean, think of a football player who's prepared to take a hit. The guy who knows the hit is coming makes out better than the guy who has no idea when he gets blindsided. So, we're going to be prepared for it. I brought that up because I saw you were at the Gators game this weekend. So
yes, so thank you.
We're going to be prepared for whatever comes down the path for us. So that's a big difference between what you guys can get yourself together and ready for than what everybody else is. They're going to be sitting here wondering why a home's not selling, or why they can't get a buyer under contract, or where the shift is coming from. What changed? How did that happen? Why didn't I see this? So you're going to be in a much better position to prepare yourself for all of those things if you can master some of these tools.
Absolutely. So, all right, so we're going to go super contextual right now, and we're going to just jump right in and start talking about how do we develop. You want to share the slides from your end over there?
Yeah, I'll get that.
Share the slides and what's going on. And this is titled Building Unwavering Trust, because there we go. Somehow my audio decided to jump there. Building unwavering trust, because without trust, guys, no one's going to buy from you. Without trust, they're never going to sell from you. No one's going to like you. No one's going to feel comfortable with you, and you're going to be burnt out of business. You might look on a deal or two here or there, but you're not going to ever build a business without actually building that trust. So let's go through that. So go ahead and start us out there, Chris.
Yeah, so I mean, just want to start off with some simple things just to set some ground rules here. I mean, these are just simple facts, and the quicker that you can accept these as simple and basic facts and just say, look, I accept that that's the way that it is, and I'm not going to fight it, because I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to accept what it is and start moving forward with it. People are going to buy and sell with or without you. And I bet that a lot of us have clients that are in our pipeline that have already proved it to us. They've already proved to you they're going to buy or sell with or without you. If you were a part of their life or forgot about them, they bought without you. And then the ones that you stayed in contact with, they're the ones that bought with you. It does not matter. You are not going to be the deciding factor as to whether they buy or sell. But you can set yourself up to make sure that you are in the best possible position to be the person that's there to help them when they do make that decision to buy or sell. It's about putting yourself in that position, getting them to like you, know you, and trust you, because those are the big key factors that we're going to be looking for here.
One more point about that one. I want you guys to be really, really aware of something I'm about to tell you, just because I know you know it, but I don't think you really absorbed this. There is millions, hundreds of millions of dollars earmarked to knock us out of this industry. Okay? Fact, right? Every Wall Street real estate startup company, let's just take Open Door, for example. Let's just take those, for example. Let's take, what do? How do you show a house that's an Open Door listing, right? What do? You go and you get an app. You get a code and a door unlocks with nobody there. That's scary. I think, if they're trying to commoditize us as an industry, like, you don't get a worse thing to happen to you than to become a commodity, right? That's just it. You're just replaceable. You're just like everybody else. And the value of that just drops, because there's always somebody who will produce a commodity cheaper than somebody else, or you'll be able to get it. So I think very, very urgently, we need to realize that we are not a commodity. We are extremely valuable, and we bring trust. And trust, without trust, you're going to become a commodity, is really the short version of what I'm saying here. So we need them to think about us first. We need them, when they think about you, to think positively about you and realize that you are an asset that they deserve and they need to have alongside of them when they're doing the largest financial transaction of their life. Right now, You don't want to be a impediment in the way. They wish they could click on Zillow at night, drinking a glass of wine, and be in the house tomorrow in the living room, would not ever talk to you, right? I think that we need to be realistic that that's really what the buyer public would wish has happened. So because they don't see the value the way that you need to make sure they see the value, and without trust, it's never going to happen.
And here's the one key differentiator between what they're trying to do and what you can provide. You still cannot put a home into a cart on a website and actually buy it online like that. And if you can do it on some of these auction sites, there's a lot of risk that goes into it. It's not a comfortable thing, and most of your buyers will not do that. So the key differentiator here is you cannot just go click on it, put the home into a shopping cart, and check out, buy the home. So that's where we've got a key here. If we can build that trust with them and somehow make sure that we are inserting ourselves into their life, so we're top of mind whenever that comes around, that's going to make a huge difference. And if you jump ahead to number 4, trust is the currency of the future, right? You hear Jim Beggins say that all the time. So you grew up with that statement, right? You grew up hearing your dad say that all the time. So what does that mean to you, that trust is the currency of the future? How do you use that?
Nothing else matters, right? Nothing matters, right? And in fact, we spend a lot of time together, and the ones I spend a lot of time with, this is never about money, right? The moment this ever becomes about money, right, really, truly just about money, you're never going to get a deal, right? I mean, when you go help, and I know you personally, when you go help somebody get a piece of property, the last thing on your mind is the check, right? You just know that it's coming, and that because it's the trust, they feel comfortable having you as holding their hand, guiding them in that transaction. And that's true trust. Guys, we may think, hey, we sold a house for $350. No, we sold a house for $350,000, right? Which is a huge chunk of change, no matter who you are, right? And that's just a low price house, right? You can't even find any of those anymore. But I mean, the trust has got to be there to handle the largest transaction. That's why I'm so excited, because so few agents in the marketplace right now really know how to sell real estate. They fell into a nice industry at a great time where it was kind of HGTV-esque. And it was, hey, you put a listing on the market and you get 50 offers, and you have an open house and people line up around the block and you have 20 people competing, and that's not real estate, right? I can't wait. I can't wait for us to be able to show, because the gap is going to be huge. Your market share is going to grow, and the lifestyle of everybody who we're affiliated with is just going to get better because of these things. And we kind of skipped a little bit over number 2.
Well, I was going to say that comes back to lumping number 2 and 3 together. What you just said, you have to understanding that we're in people and communications business. We just happen to sell real estate. Your job is to build the connection, to build the trust, to build the rapport, to build that energy with the people that you work with, because that's what it's really about. It's not about selling the home. It's about selling a lifestyle. It's about selling them on the fact that you are the person that's able to help them navigate through this, and the largest asset purchase that they're ever going to have in their life, and the largest asset sale they're ever going to have in their life. You're the person that they should come to and trust to do that. It's not about the house. It's about that trust and the people and the communications that goes along with it. And with that being said, jumping into number 3, it's your mindset and your attitude and the energy that's going to determine whether they're going to work with you or not. That's what it's going to take. You have to be able to manage and to monitor and to control your mindset, your attitude, and your energy. And if you can get that down, that's going to win you half the battles, if not more.
And it's not just about this sale, right? And trust goes way deeper than a transaction, right? The guys, we say it all the time, every transaction is worth at least $130,000 to you. And I want you to really understand that, own that, like engulf that thought around your brain. And this is 2 years after they buy a house, when they want a fence, right? And you're the thought of an AC guy gets out, and their kids are thinking about renting an apartment. They ask your advice, right? To the point where they see your Facebook page about your car, and they're asking you about where you bought your car. And then before you know it, you're advising them about a business that they're in, or you're starting to talk to them about their relationships because they trust you, right? This is a far-reaching position we find ourselves in, and it's not to be taken lightly. It is in the people and communications business, and you'll find yourself in unbelievable circumstances with amazing opportunities around you when you take care of people, when you have it built on trust. And that's it. So we couldn't lay a stronger foundation than what we just did on that one.
Yep.
On that one.
Sorry, I'm having to move the pictures out of the way up top. All right. Just to put it really simple, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. That's a basic quote that you can summarize all of mindset about. A really simple thing, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Right. And how many times do we put ourselves in a position where we're thinking in the wrong light? I was just talking with somebody just a few minutes ago, and they said, well, now I feel like I'm starting from scratch because I just sold everything that I have. Well, okay, well, that's a limiting mindset. That's in a mindset from scarcity rather than from abundance. You're thinking about the money rather than thinking about the people, and thinking about the relationships, and thinking about the trust, and thinking about that. So that's where this becomes powerful. It's not about the sale. It's not about the money. It's not about your bank account. It's not about any of that. It's about you and how you carry yourself, and that trust and rapport and relationship that you're able to build and connect with and get from the onset of your communication with people. So go ahead.
No doubt. No, and I want to just combine these next two in just a thought for a second. If we came to you watching right now and we said, there is a piece of property, it's $6 million. It's in your neighborhood. I need you to go over there today at 4 o'clock and present, right? Game on. You're tapped. Oh, and by the way, we're sending Jonathan with the camera. He's going to watch you, and we're going to broadcast it live, right? What is your mindset right now? You watching, right? And I want you to honestly answer this question. Are you good enough? Do you deserve to be there? Can you handle it? Right? And is it going to be okay? Or are you just going to get sick and not go and say that your toe hurts, right? Those are the thoughts that I want you guys to think about. And it's 100% driven by this, right? It's 100% your mindset. It is your identity. They're your beliefs. It is what you think. Do you see yourself being worthy of having that amount of business, right? And that's really what this is about, talking about from your mindset. So let's talk about the answers to that. Whatever they are is okay. And it's perfect, but we need to be honest about what those answers are so we can get to a next level, right? This is the name of this whole course, is Next Level You. So let's be honest about where we are right now and get to that next level. So Chris, let's talk about the answers that came into our mind. Where did those come from, and what do we do about that?
Well, they came from us. They came from your mind. You have to be able to understand that every thought that you have is a made up thought. Everything that you have, it was made up by your mind, by your head. It's whenever something happens to you, you have a choice. You have a choice with, you define what that means to you when it happens. So when Jeff said, we're going to have you go and have you pitch for these people, and you're going to pitch to sell this property. By the way, we're going to send this. You made up in your mind, well, the last time I was on camera, this happened, that happened. Oh my goodness, I'm going to fail. I can't do that. I won't do that. You start going through that. You have to understand that that's a choice. You have a choice to think that way, or you have a choice to think that I'm going to show up and I'm going to nail it. There's no difference whether somebody's standing there with a camera or whether I walk in there by myself. It doesn't matter. And the problem is, well, not the problem, but just the reality of it is, whatever you think and whatever steps that you've taken, whatever habits you formed with how you react to that, you are consistently trying to stay congruent and consistent with that identity moving forward. So if you felt that way once before, the next time it's happening, you're probably going to feel the same way again. And the next time it happens, you're probably going to feel the same way again, until you are able to prove to yourself that A, I can trust myself, B, I know what I'm doing, and I'm worth it. So if you can get in your mindset that I control all of the thoughts that come through my head now in today, no matter what's happened in the past, and anything that's happened in the past, I can shift it. So it's just a simple thing that if you really put some attitude and intention on it, you can help to shift those things. So, I mean, I think that consistency, that congruency between your identity, the things that you think on a day-to-day basis, your brain doesn't like to be wrong, right? So whenever you think on a day-to-day basis, whatever you almost feel uncomfortable whenever you react in a way that's outside of that boundary. So that's a mindset shift there, is being able to act outside of what you are normally trying to stay congruent with.
I agree. And then here's the root of it comes from this, guys. And it really hits home to me. And I know you too, Chris, we've got little kids, right?
Oh yeah.
By the time I got a 5-year-old boy and a almost 2-year-old little girl, right? My job, right? My number one job, and I know you feel the same way, is to make sure that they feel confident, right? And resilient, right? And those are two good words I think that are important for our kids and us, you, me, our agents, our management team, everybody, right? You can, the scenario I put out earlier, there's a $6 million listing. Every one of you can handle that. 100% you've got this because we all go in together, right? We'll talk about that in other classes, but we have the belief we know 100% that you've got this. There's not even a question about it. And we'll help you along the way and we'll make sure you get the processes down. But it's about you and that belief. And a lot of this was formed in your first 5 years of life, right? Wherever your tribe was, whoever you grew up around, whatever you heard, whatever you were watching, whatever influences were, whatever their thoughts, were they D's, IS's, or C, were they fear-based, were they risk-averse? It's all perfect, right? None of it's right or wrong. None of it's, well, should I would grow up in this area and it sucks. No, that's not true. But you have to understand where you came from in order to figure out what's the next level that we need to work on, right? So if we need to do a little mindset work, let's do some mindset work. That's it. But you got to be honest about where you came from, because that's where the majority of your thoughts and the reactions and the feelings and how you handle and what did your adrenaline do and what happened to the cortisol level in your brain when you just had that thought, because there's so many thoughts that got triggered from those words that you went, oh my, it's somewhere. And wherever it was, it's okay. But it's all controlled in the mindset.
I love the tribe analogy that you always use, talking about your tribe. Your tribe does this and your tribe did that, meaning your family, the way you grew up, your tribe did things this way. This is the way they reacted. When things got stressful, somebody freaked out, flipped out, yelled, screamed, did that. Or when your tribe, when things got stressful or things got tough, somebody buckled down and went to work and you saw a certain thing. And those are the things that you develop, that whole tribal mentality. And just because your tribe did things this way and their tribe did things that way doesn't mean it's right or wrong. You'll hear us say that a lot. There's nothing wrong with the way that you're doing things, but it may not be congruent with the way that this tribe does things. And when you don't have that congruency and consistency between the two, you lack the ability to build that trust. So mindset being that we need to find a way to shift our mindset that we grew up with, that's been pretty much, we feel like it's ingrained in us since we were young kids, age of 5. And we have to be able to get the mindset of this tribe to understand us or us to understand them so we can build that trust. Because as you'll see later, people like people who are like themselves. Right. And if I'm from this tribe and you're from that tribe, we're two completely different people, two completely different ways of coming at things a lot of times. And we may not like each other. That's why there's wars and differences of opinions. But even on a simple level, there's this tribe thinks it's not okay to drive a Mercedes. This tribe thinks that you need to be driving a hybrid. This tribe thinks you can't earn more than $50,000 a year because if you did, you'd be one of the elitists who looks down on everybody. This tribe says you can't live unless you're earning $200,000 a year. Any of those things are okay. But if you are not living congruent with the lifestyle that you want, then we just make a few extra shifts in your mindset and we can work through that together.
And that's what we're going to do today. It's to me, it's an input, it's an equation, right? Everything's a math, input, output. The input you have is your mindset fundamentally, that's it. And that is what you're dealing with. That's where you are right now. The money that you have in the bank right now, the level of production you have right now is a direct reflection of your mindset, the way it is right now, right? Call it confidence, call whatever you want, but your mindset has you living where you are right now. Open your app, look at your bank account. That's what you have. Your mindset equals that, right? Yep. If that's enough, keep it, right? But if there's a next level of income that you want, you got to have a next level mindset too, or else you're going to be stuck and it's never going to balance out. You guys got that? So that's what we're focusing on here today. So let's keep on. Let's go to the next slide. It's one of my favorites ones here. It just builds on this thought becomes things here, right? I'll go with this one. So thoughts become feelings. That's just it, right? They become things, but they become feelings. And feelings are, it's a big issue, right? Because that causes such a physical reaction inside your whole body. Just a thought that you have, like the $6 million example we just gave you, that thought created a feeling. That feeling either flushed your body with a chemical, 1 or 2 chemicals, right? And it made your body do certain things from the way, wait, that feeling became emotions. That emotions turn into your potential or you sabotaging yourself. That potential turned into your actions or inactions. And that's the issue. Then your actions, and they are repeated over and over and over again. That's what forms your habit, which informs your lifestyle, right? That's how it works. So thoughts to feelings to emotions to potential to action or inaction. And that's what happens over and over and over and over and over. It's a interesting grind that we're in with that wheel you have there.
Yeah, and if you understand that the things that you think and feel and believe were ingrained in you up until you were 5 years old. So a lot of the things that you feel are part of you, this is just who I am, aren't actually like that. They've just been so ingrained in you in this process that it goes around and around, and it just feels like it's normal to you now. You can change your belief. You can change that thought. The minute you change the thought, you change the feeling that comes in. The minute you change the feeling, you change the emotions. The minute that emotion changes, all of a sudden you have different potential. If I had a, oh crap feeling whenever Jeff said he's going to send a videographer, or if I had a, great, I got this. Those two different feelings and beliefs are going to change into the potential and the action that gets created, and then it's going to give me a different result. So just knowing that these thoughts are where everything starts. You know, you must be happy and grateful for what you are, but to also be hungry for more. So when we're expanding on these things, it's okay to have and be everything that you are right here with these identities and these beliefs and this mindset. But you have to start off being happy and stop saying that everything that I have, well, this isn't working, I'm not right, this is bad. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong with it. Be happy, be grateful for everything that you are and this identity that you have, but be hungry for whatever that next level is. The minute you can attach to that hunger and be okay with who you are, if you're okay with who you are, you're okay if it changes a little bit. You're okay if we bring something new in. You're okay if we get a different attachment to something else. But if you're not good with what you are, anything that comes in has that same kind of identity of not being okay with it. It's bad, it's this, it's that, and it just all goes in the wrong fashion. It goes in the wrong cycle.
Let's go through that wheel as this example that we're playing with the $6 million listing, right? That every one of you is capable of, and I can't wait for you to go get one because you can do it. It's no different than a $60,000 listing. Is that a mindset alone right there?
Absolutely.
Yes, right? And it's absolutely the truth, right, on this one. So let's go to the top of this where the belief. The amount of belief you have determines the amount of potential. So if you sat there and said, all right, $6 million listing, that's $150,000 gross commission, right? So I'm going to end up sitting around here at 120 grand, right? I'm going to make $100,000 or $120,000 when this thing comes in. That alone is a thought, which creates feelings and emotions. 120 grand on one commission, right? And so that's one. Now, do you have a home for that money? Which we'll get into other points, but that's step one. Needs to have. What would you do with it? If you have no home for that, it's not going to come. Other than you can't just put it in the bank, right? You have to emotionally charge. What is that going to happen? And then it's the belief, I can do this. So imagine if you have the belief, I got this. I'm going to do this. Now, I better have my game sharp. Who am I probably competing with, right? You can pop a couple names in your mind right now that do a lot of luxury homes in your neighborhood. They're going to be at the living room too, right? But I can beat them. I've got us. I got the brand. I got the company. I got my leadership. I got manners. I got the mindset. I got the sales. I got the ability. I know my personality profiles. I know my VAKs. I know how to sell. I got this. They're going to like me. I'm going to be able to build that connection, and we got this, right? So you get fired up, right? The belief is there. I have this. This is my listing. I will do the best job. And from there, I will launch a whole different segment of my career. I'll do just listens. I'll do some mailings. I'll let everybody know that I did it. I will work harder than anybody else. I got this, right? That's your belief. Now, with that belief, does that turn into action, right? You damn well better believe it. I will be all over the fine homes in the States, Century 21 online, reading everything about the luxury New York Times, all the different stuff where we advertise highly expensive properties and what is the next level of marketing. I'll be YouTubing my ass off today. I'll be asking everybody in my office, I'll be talking to my manager saying, help me, coach me up, right? I got a few hours, let's go, right? So that's the potential, right? That's tapping into my potential, which you all have to go do that. And you take the action like, okay, let me say, what am I going to say when I grow up? Thank you for having me over. God, I'm so excited to be here. It's taking 5 and 25 minutes. That's it. Let's go right. I know what I'm going to say. I've got the belief. I'm taking the action. I'm ready to go. And then guess what? It's predetermined, right? What do we say? We're not in the real estate business. We're in the people and communication business, building trust, right? Yep. They trust the brand. That's not going anywhere. They trust our company. We've been around here for almost 30 freaking years, right? We know what we're doing. We sold many $6 million properties, sold 20, 30, 40, $50 million properties. It's not a big deal, right? So we've got this. So now it's about, do they like you? Do they trust you? And are you good at what you do? And then you leverage that. Now you get it. And now you got the result. And then now what's your belief?
See, I told you could do it.
You got this. And then now you do another one. You think, God, that was easy. What's a $10 million one like, right? And then you keep going and see what you can do. So, but it starts with a mindset, starts with the belief that causes you to build on that belief, tap into the potential, take the action, get the result, and do it. Now, conversely, you're like, shit, I can't do that. I'm not good enough. I've never done that before. They're going to shoot me in the foot. You physically have those thoughts and you shrink and you shrivel. You're dead, right? Now, this could be 150,000. This could be your first listing, or this could be your first listing in a high-end subdivision, which you've never cracked into before. Same way, I don't care how much business you're doing. We all go through the same issue. It's called next level. Whether you're a super top producer consistently, or this is your first transaction you're thinking about, it's the exact same process, right? Yep. It's that blissful dissatisfaction, right? I love that term, right? I love where I am, but man, will I do great things with that extra step. Okay. Yep. Got a little carried away on that slide, but I love it.
No, that's huge. I love that term too. I heard the guy's name is Ed Milet, talks about blissful dissatisfaction. He just says, look, I'm so happy. I'm so grateful with everything that I am, the attitude, the mindset, the action, the results of everything that I've created. I'm so incredibly happy with it, but I'm hungry. I'm hungry for more. I'm always looking for what else is there, because I know my truest potential, my belief and my attitude and my mindset is my truest potential is always one step further. There's always one more step. It's why I always do one more rep in the gym. I'm going to do 10. I do 11 every single time, because there's always one more step. And that's a belief. That's an attitude. That's a mindset that I carry with me. And the cool thing is success leaves clues. And when you do it in one area of your life, it starts to carry over into others. And that's why we're always trying to get you to take action and really attach to some other things outside of just real estate, because we know if we can get you doing this in other parts of your life, these things carry over and you actually get better at the things that you may not feel you're as good at, because you started putting solid foundations in the other sides.
That's it. That's it. Now, here's the problem. This dude lives inside your brain, and his entire job as the drunk monkey is to shit can every positive, powerful thought you have and get you to come to a place where you don't do anything new, right? And guys, this is the toughest thing. This guy right here on your screen is the best salesperson on the planet, right? He has destroyed so many dreams, held so many people back, and he is amazing at it. He just sits back smoking his joint, pounding down his heinies, and having a great day, right? That's the drunk monkey. And here's the issue. This is what you hear. When I said $6 million listing, Jonathan's live broadcast living, he jumped up. That woke his ass up, and he said, "Oh, what?
Can't do that.
No, dumbass. You've never done a $6 million listing. Are you kidding? You don't even know what a $6 million, but you don't even know. What are you doing? Look at your car. Look at your clothes. You're not going to do. They're going to ask you a question. You're dead. They have other agents. They know they're better than you. Shut up, dumbass. Sit home, right? Guarantee you that went through your head. And I don't care how many deals you're doing. You're going to have doubt. You're going to have fear. You're going to have anxiety, because it's called life. And we're not going to say your garden is great. It's all flower and roses and everything's perfect. It's not true. It's a bunch of negative bullshit thoughts that keep you repressed, held down to a level that's not next, right? His entire mission is to have you be exactly where you are. He's even pissed you're here, because you should have been where you were before, not here, right? Yep. This is where the drunk monkey's whole world is, and this lives inside your brain, and it's killing you, and it's called the terror barrier. And this is what goes on this one. So you want to take this one?
Yeah, this is the drunk monkey's whole job is to keep you right here. This is what you are right now. You have this X mindset with an X thought and an X body. Everything is consistent and congruent. Remember, we said that the strongest force that's in your human mind and body is to stay consistent and congruent with who you think you are, what that identity is. And this is where you are right now. This outside idea why is when Jeff says, hey, Chris, I got this $6 million listing and I really think you're the best person for the job. This is that outside thought that pops into your head that says, let's go on a $6 million listing and let's go see if we can get that. Now your X vibration that's here, your X thoughts, your X mindset, this drunk monkey's sole job is to get rid of this Y thought that came in. This is what the terror barrier is, the drunk monkey. Let's get that why thought out of our head as quickly as possible, because we are perfectly fine, safe, comfortable, and good where we are. Do you think you could do it? Maybe. I don't know. You could probably do that, but let's just stay right where we are, because we know what we'll get if we stay here. You don't know what you're going to get if you go there. If you go there, you might get embarrassed. They may fire you after the first couple of days of being in there. You're going to have to compete with these people who do so much better than you. That's what this drunk monkey is doing. Your job, go ahead.
You don't need the money. It's
No.
not that important to you.
Right. Look, you've never had 150,000 in one transaction before. What the hell do you need it now for? You don't need it. You don't need it right now. So your job with this, with your X mindset that's here, this X level vibration that's here, this Y is going to slowly start seeping into every other part of your body. If you can get a hold of that drunk monkey thought, if you can get a hold of that drunk monkey thought and tell it that it is complete and utter BS. Why? Because I can do that. I know that I can do that. Look at all the team that I have behind me. I've been on this before. What's the difference between a $6 million listing and a $600,000 listing? It's just an extra comma and a few zeros. And as you do that, your belief and your potential starts to grow, which means this why mindset, this why thought starts to creep into you, and it starts to get further inside of you and starts to give you an opportunity to say, this isn't so bad after all. I think I can get with this. I think I can manage this a little bit more. And the more you fight off this drunk monkey and you push that off and just say, look, it's complete and utter BS. The truth is, I've got the tools, I've got the skills, I've got the knowledge, I've got the ability, I've got the partnerships to be able to do everything that I need. That why slowly starts to take over everything that you feel you were congruent with for the beginning parts of your life, and will slowly change over to a whole new mindset, a whole new belief, and a whole new vibration. And now all of a sudden you're able to step into that why mindset. And the next time that Jeff says, Chris, how about that $6 million listing? I got another one. Their neighbor just called me and said, we want to go do that. And you step up to the plate, the drunk monkey said, sit down. I got this. I'm showing up today. You can take a seat on the back. So it's just a whole level of getting through this drunk monkey terror barrier to get to that next level mindset of where you want to be, whether you think you should be there or not. You're going to come up with every reason in the book, or this drunk monkey is going to come up with every reason in the book that you don't need to be there. So that's why it's good to have the strong reason, strong purpose, strong emotional foundations and connections to why you want the things that you want. Because the minute that this guy shows up, you better have some ammunition to get him to sit down.
And he's never going away. He'll be here to your last day, right? Alive, right? His purpose is to keep you alive, and we love him for that, because he doesn't want you to take any risk, because you didn't take a risk so far today. Don't take one tonight, because I want you to stay safe and breathe and eat and live, and you don't need any extravagant things. Just stay normal. Right? That's never going to end. And it's very powerful for a lot of ways, but not for a enlightened mind that wants to push forward to a next level lifestyle. It's like the worst thing ever in his world. So just know it never goes away. It's a constant battle. That's why we all get together every quarter and do this next level university, to make sure that we know where we're going. Because if you look at that bottom section, those 3 Ys, that becomes your new normal. The old 3 X's, that's gone. Now you have the 3 Ys. And guess what? You're the type of person that's going to have a Z idea fly in now. And then you're like, well, that was cool. What if I go now do this? And then the same process happens. You're like, well, I don't really know. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't. You're like, damn it, I'm doing it. I want it. Why not? Let me push myself. I got this. And then now you're living in a Z lifestyle. And then now you have a AA lifestyle. That thought comes in your brain, and then you keep rolling. Or one day you say, you know what? I like the X world I was in before. I'm going to roll back there. Then it's a choice, right? But you're in complete, total control over that. Once you realize this force that you're working against right now is that guy right there, right? And he has to go away, right? And you've got to at least calm him down, have a cage you can shove him with a case of bananas and say, sit down there and munch for a while. I'm going to get this listing. Right?
And that's all that we're trying to do here with this next level university. All the classes today, tomorrow, and Wednesday are to try and drop some more why ideas into your mind, to get you to have an aha moment, that you accept more of that why idea inside, and you tell this drunk monkey to sit down, shut up, because I got it and I'm showing up today and I'm in control, not you. Let's do this. I know that's possible. I know that's part of who I am and who I want to be and who I should be. And again, having enough emotional attachment there.
So let's talk about this for a second. This why thought idea that comes in is what makes life interesting, right? That's what growth is all about. Growth is just a why type idea. That's your why.
This
right?
is literally a physical depiction of growth, what it is like to grow as an individual. That's literally a physical depiction of that.
So you've got to, let's understand this. That's your why. We always say, what's your why? That's your, literally, what's your why, right? There's your letter Y. It's got to become so emotional, so powerful that it overcomes this drunk monkey mind, right? And you've got to say, I want this so badly. I can taste it. I can feel it. I deserve it. I've got this. I'm going to work for it. I'm going to push through and I'll make it happen, right? Now that is called a mindset. That is called a belief. And if you don't have it, guys, it will never happen. You got to get, I mean, hair standing up on your arms, just powerfully excited. This is my next level. I will get it, right? And then, and only then, does something change. Because then and only then is when we go into the next slide, you have something called the law of attraction, okay? But nothing gets attracted to crap, okay? And if your idea is non-inspiring, it isn't awesome, and it's not invigorating, there's no energy, you can't say, yes! Who wants to be attracted to that? Right? Not you. He does. So until you're looking at, that's it.
When you're talking law of attraction, what do you want to attract more of? Do you want to attract more of this guy smoking a joint, drinking beer, sitting back, keeping you exactly where you've always been, telling you that you don't need that, you don't want that, and you believing that? That's an attraction too. You can have that law of attraction and invite more of that in. Or do you want to invite in that Y level mindset, that Y level attitude, and have an attraction of, I can do this, I will do this, sit down, shut up, we're going to work because this is what I want, this is what I've always been after, and we're going to create it.
That's right. So the thoughts become things, right? So law of attraction, right, is you will attract to you what you're emotionally connected to get to receiving. And if it's not good thoughts, you're going to attract not good stuff. If it's exciting thoughts, it's exciting stuff. It's that simple. And as this says, it's not a theory. This is a law, right? You can't just say, I don't really feel like I want gravity to apply to me today. That's going to kind of float around. Not happen. You don't have that choice. Gravity will hit your ass every day, no matter what, literally. Right? And that's just what the law does. So the law of attraction is bringing you the life that you're attracted to getting, you're attached to getting, you're emotionally charged to living. And it might be where you are. Well, it's not might be where you are. It is where you are. You have attracted exactly where you are, exactly who you're with, exactly what you look like, exactly what your mindset is, exactly what experiences you've had in life. You've attracted every bit of it, 100% of it. Accept it, embrace it, and be okay with that. Okay? That's it. Now, fortunately, we got the ability to go next level, because let's talk about how the magnetism of this, Chris.
Sure. So, attraction, it's basically the law of attraction is a powerful magnet. There literally is an electrical charge associated with feelings and a magnetic charge. I'm sorry, an electrical charge with thoughts and a magnetic charge with feelings. You have to be able to use both. You have to be able to control your thoughts. When you have a thought, there's literally an electrical charge inside of your body that goes off. You realize that there's enough electric inside of your body at any given time, nearly to power a house. And then when you have your feelings that come off of it, you are literally putting off a magnetic charge, a magnetic attraction to things that are in line and congruent with what you're thinking and what you're feeling. But here's the problem. Your brain was not meant to keep you successful or to make you successful. It was made to keep you safe. That drunk monkey that never goes away, that's always going to be there, is trying to keep you safe. So when you have these thoughts of doing something and then a feeling that's from the drunk monkey of, you don't need it, you probably don't have it, let's be comfortable here, even though you're saying, look, no, I want that, that feeling of being afraid, that feeling of the things that you don't want to happen is attracting something as well. And the human brain doesn't really understand the thought of negative. If I tell you, don't think of an elephant, what are you thinking of right now? An elephant. You're thinking of an elephant. And when I tell you, well, just don't think of all of the things that could happen, that'll be bad, it's hard to not. And that's where that drunk monkey comes in. We start thinking of all of the bad things that could happen that we don't want to happen. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. We need to become more powerful and get more aligned with the things that we do want. That's why we focused a lot in the last session on vision. We focused a lot on emotional connection, on positivity, and what is that why? What is the reason you're going after all of these things? Because that is the attraction that you want to bring more of in. And the minute that something else that's not congruent and aligned with that comes into your mind, you naturally start to push it off because there's too much strength and emotion that's attached to it. You know, everything is energy. This is all energy, intention, and emotions. The more you can manage your emotions, the more you can manage and have a direct and soul intention on doing something, the more you start managing that energy and that attraction of bringing more of those things to you instead of the things that you don't want.
I mean, you just nailed it with it's attraction, right? It's a physical force, right? You attract, like attracts like, right? Like attracts like, and it repels away what's not like. So that's literally how your life is going right now. And you are attracting people, situations, things to your life right now based on the thoughts that you're having. And it's time for a major wake up to say, if you like all the stuff that's coming to you and you have right now, keep it up. It's working, right? If there's some things going on right now that you're like, how the hell did I get here? Right? Then you need to know how you got here. You're thinking some crazy ass stuff, right? So think about the law of attraction as you're bringing it in. So now when you get emotionally charged, right, with that energy, so this is my next level. In Q4, this is what I will look like on New Year's Eve. This is how I'll be feeling on New Year's Eve. This is what will be in my bank account on New Year's Eve. Because we're just talking about Q4 now, guys, right? This is it. So I've got all of October, all of November, all of December. This is what I'm going to accomplish. This is what changes I've made. This is how I'm going to be living. This is the vacation I booked for myself and my loved ones for March, right? All with the fruits of what I've done over this last 3 months. These are the type of people I'm going to attract. These are the type of places I'm going to attract. These are the kind of transactions I'm going to go do. This is the fun I'm going to have. This is it, right? And do not get in my way because I'm only going here, damn it. That's it. And then that kicks in this other part of your brain, right? Which is the reticular activating system. And this is really the key, right, to life, really, right? Is this, it follows through, and I call it a shit filter, right? It takes away anything that's not on this path with you. It filters it out. And people ask me if I ever heard anybody talking about this. No, I don't even want to hear them. Even if they're around me, I won't hear it, right? Because it's not congruent with where I'm going. And if you're not congruent with where I'm going, I don't want you anywhere near my life, right? And I don't even have to say that because I will repel you, right? Physically, right? My brain will repel you. You will be so irrelevant. I won't even notice you because you're irrelevant, right? But I will attract people that help me get there because that are aligned with my energy, that are aligned with my thoughts, that say they need some help at the level that I want to deliver value and service at, right? That will just come to me when I'm emotionally attracted. It's a brilliant thing. Perfect example is when you get a new car, right? A new to you car, right? Think about if you got a new car, what do you notice as soon as you drive off the car lot heading back home?
More of the same car.
The exact same car. You're like,
exactly.
Oh,
look, I didn't know they made it like that. They make it in that color too. Oh, that's pretty cool. You start seeing all of the same car because it became important to you. It became congruent with the things that you expect of yourself, congruent with those emotions, those attachments, the things that you create and you want. You start noticing it and seeing it. That's what the reticular activating system is. So the more that you can tell your reticular activating system, your brain, the things that are important to you, the things that mean something to you with a strong emotional attachment to it, the more you naturally start to pick those things out around you and invite those things into your life and filter out all of the other BS that has nothing to do with what you're in alignment with.
Totally irrelevant, right?
And it becomes, go ahead.
I was saying it's totally irrelevant. People, places, and things become totally irrelevant when they're not in line with your thoughts. And it's a great way to live, guys. It really is.
And look how powerful this is. We all have heard of the placebo effect, right? We've all heard of this. We've all heard that there's people that have taken a sugar pill or a placebo pill or even surgery to the point of having a surgery where they actually just put dots, literally took a scalpel and cut like small little slits into somebody's knee. didn't perform surgery on them, but performed surgery on people that actually had that needed a knee surgery too, did the surgery on them, but not on this group of people. The people that had this strong belief that the surgery had been done, because they had no idea, they didn't perform a surgery. They just said, oh, look, the scars, we actually had surgery, everything's good. The people they didn't do surgery on had nearly the same level of feeling and healing 3 months later as the people who did have the surgery, because they were so in line with that belief, with that energy, with that attraction of healing and feeling better and being more, that they were attracting and repelling those things that were in line with what they wanted and pushing away the things that weren't in line with what they wanted, to the point that they were pushing away thoughts and feelings of pain and actually feeling more healed and strong. It goes with pills too. They've had the same kind of studies. That's the power of the law of attraction. That's the power of these emotions. That's the power of these connections and the reticular activating system in your brain. And like you said, it's a law. It is a law. This has been proven time and time again. Every single study accounts for a placebo effect in it. Every single science study accounts for it because they know it's going to happen. So if you can trick your brain into thinking that your knee was worked on and healed, you can trick your brain into thinking that you can go on a $6 million listing and win it. You can align with that belief. You can attract more of those things into your life. You can put that energy and intention into it and come out with the outcome that you really want, instead of settling for all of the BS that you've already had. But if the BS that you've already had is what you want, that's fine too. But figure out whatever that next level is for you. Next level doesn't mean that you're going to earn more income. Next level could be, I'm going to go backwards, earn less income so I can spend more time with my kids, my family, and all of that, because I know I have enough. Whatever that next level is for you is perfectly fine. It's acceptable to you. And you tell us what that is, and we want to work with you and help you with that.
That's right. Now, guys, this is so critical because this is the foundation. Now we're going into context of exactly what do you do, but none of this matters until you get your energy right and your focus right. Because now with that mindset, now you start taking the actions into making this work. And people who are like themselves, we already talked about that, right? But how does that happen, right? How do you build that trust? How do you build that bond, right? That attraction to people that says, I trust you. I want you to handle this transaction. I want to give this to you. I want you to take control. I trust you, right? This is a skill, and this does not happen by accident, guys. This is where you got to get that knowledge gap done. You've got to get the skill set here. So let's look at these numbers real quick. This is communication. We're in the people and communications business. We just happen to play in the industry of real estate. You can take this anywhere in the world, right? 738.55, 738.55, 738.55. This is, imagine a pie chart, right? And you have 7% of the wedge. The 7% wedge is this size, 38.55. The 7% of all communication are the words that you're saying. That's it, right? And too many times we get caught up on what I hope I just say the right thing. That's the most irrelevant part of communication. And you just look at us talking. We're sitting here moving left to forward. We're talking like this. I mean, this is how we just communicate naturally, is to get attention. Who knows what the hell we're saying, but we're getting our points across, and we're emphasizing when we need to emphasize. We're calling your attention physically in when we're talking on purpose, because we want to deliver the best experience we can to you so your life gets better faster, because that's the value we like to bring to you guys, right? So here's how this works. 7% words, 38% is the tonality. It's how the words sound when they're flying out of your face, right? That's important, right? That's really important. It's a skill set. You can really control people's feelings by the word tonality that comes out of your mouth, right? And we'll go through some of that. And 55% of it is body language. It's how you actually are carrying yourself, right? And it's by design most of the time. Most of the time it's, it should be by design most of the time. 99% of the population just does what they do without any bearing on what effect that's having on the people that you're influencing. Because are you influencing people all the time? All the time. 100% of the time.
No, but if I said, Jeff, here's where the struggle comes in for us. If I say, Jeff, I want you to walk into that bar and I want you to pick somebody up and I want you to get a date, what would most of us try and do? Hi, I'm Jeff. Where are you from? What do you do? Where are you from? What are you doing tonight? You come here often? We'd go in and use words. We would so often go in and try and use words to build a connection, but you just saw that 7% of your communication is just the words. The other 30% is how you use them. So even if you put those two together, you're communicating with only 45% of the way that you can connect with somebody by using just words and tonality. You skipped over the fact that you have body language. You could be walking in, hovering over somebody, trying to talk to them, trying to pick them up, and their body language is telling you to get away. And you're not paying any attention to it because you're so focused on the words, you're so focused on what you're saying and how it's coming out that you completely miss everything else. So knowing that 55% of your communication is body language, that's why we have scripts. 7% are words. Get them out of the way. Learn the words, just learn them and get them out of the way. We put some in bold to make sure you have the right tonality and inflection. Learn the scripts, learn that. Your job is to start identifying who you're talking to. If you can start identifying that, which within the first 7 or 8 seconds, we are getting somebody that's going to they're making a decision on us one way or another within the first 7 to 8 seconds, right? That's what they're doing. So if we start using our body language a little bit more by identifying what they're doing and mirror and matching, we put ourselves in a much better situation. I don't know where somebody's from. I don't know their name. I don't know their sound of their voice. I don't know any of that. But what do I know? I know how they're standing. I know how their eye contact is. I know how they're moving. I could walk in and see more of the body language about them, and I could make myself more like them. And if you build a stronger connection on that side, everything else just starts falling into place. The words will come. The tonality will come as you mirror and match those things. But if you can align with them with that body language, you're going to win a lot more of the time because you've got a better connection with them. 55% stronger connection than the guy who walked in and started throwing words around. Yeah, I sell 1 million homes and I make lots of money and I can sell this in a day and everything's fine. And you got no connection. So using these skills is going to help you to make a stronger connection with them.
I laugh about this all the time because it was the most visual example of this. And I'll just tell the story again for those of you who haven't heard it because I love it. It's so spot on. So we were, and there was a townhouse project coming up in Clearwater. And one of our agents at the time, Stephanie, she's now a doctor somewhere else. She left the industry. But she said, holy crap, I've got this lead. I don't know what to do. Will you come help me? And I'm like, of course, set up a meeting. Let's go. So I went and met with this developer and these owners group at Starbucks in downtown Clearwater, walked on in. And then she's like, you're not going to do all this BS stuff, are you? I'm like, just watch, just watch. I'm like, look, I don't know these people. I've never known them before. So I've got to connect as quickly as possible. So let's go. Little did I know, I thought I was maybe being set up on this one. It was so obscenely odd. So walk in, sit across this table, and here's this guy. And now this goes to the bottom of the slide. It's where you have the different ways that you connect with people, whether it's eye contact, facial expressions, posture, hand gestures, energy, mood, tonality, vocabulary, everything rolls into one. And it's really tribal, right? People like people who are like themselves. Yes. That's just this premise. That's all we're talking about is that one thing right there. So here's, pay attention to this. That guy, right? The person he trusted most in his entire life is who? Him.
Himself.
Him, right? You don't get a stronger person you trust than yourself, right? That's just it. There's nothing more. There's no stronger, safer person in the planet than yourself, right? So the closer, let's just think conceptually for a second. The closer you are to that, the more trust you have. The further you are from that, the least amount of trust you have. Got it? So that's the lesson. So here I am sitting at Starbucks, grabbing I look in, I walk in, and I start thinking. I go into neutral, by the way. That's why this is called neutrality. And I put all of my energy aside. I put all of my thoughts, all of my facial expressions, everything aside right now. And people are saying, well, that's not you. That's not fair. It doesn't matter. This is the highest respect I can pay to this person, is to make him have an ease and flow of communication. Okay. And you guys need to understand this. So this is very, very, very important aspect here, because I've had people say, that's manipulating. Shut up. No, it's not, right? It's respectful, right? Because this person wants ease of communication. He doesn't know me. He doesn't trust me. He wants somebody that can handle this transaction and be done, right? And that does that. So the quicker I can get that trust from that person, the better everybody wins. It's going to be a better transaction for me. It's going to be easier for him, and everything is going to go the smooth way. So go into neutral, walk into the room. I look at the people. I start to think, and I see what they're drinking. Do I get something opposite of what they're drinking, or do I get similar things that they're drinking? Right? I walk over to the table. I see how they're sitting. You can tell. It's called peripheral vision. This is worth billions of dollars to you. You see how they're sitting. You see how their posture is. Are they slouched down? Are they talking with each other? Are they talking with their hands? How are they leaning in? What's their communication style with themselves? There was two people there, right? So I'm watching all this while I'm getting my freaking latte that I don't even drink, right? So I'm going over there, and then I walk over and I'm sitting there. And then once they get there, I'll never forget it. Leans forward on the table. He's one of these guys, right? He's got these huge eye contact. His tribe was a staring tribe. My tribe is not a staring tribe, but what does he think about people that don't stare back? They're weird, right? I mean, I guess
can't trust them.
You went to Thanksgiving dinner, they'd all be sitting there staring at each other, munching down turkey. It'd be really weird to see, but that's just what they did. So in order to do that, and then not just that, he's actually rocking back and forth. So now I got a rocking guy who's staring with his eyes big like this, and he's telling me these communications. And then every once in a while, this is how he'd communicate. He'd make his points and he'd go, not a lot of emotions, not a lot of facial expressions. And I'm going, unbelievable. And I get kicked under the table by Stephanie. She's like, I know she's thinking, yeah, good luck with this one. So I just start having my conversation, and I'm talking to him, and I'm making really good eye contact. And I start moving around like this and just talking about what we're actually doing and getting to know each other. And, before you know, we're having this little table dance going on, and it's not obvious. I'm not staring at him, like trying to analyze them, but I'm just kind of doing it in my own little way, just doing that. When I notice how they're sitting, his legs are crossed on the table, my legs are crossed, he's kind of slouched down, we have a slouch, and I'm kind of staring and I'm rocking. Okay. Now there we are. Sale made. Guys, I'm not joking. This is where I have 3 to 7 seconds where he decided whether or not he was going to hire us because he trusted us. And he trusted us because we were similar, right? Now, of course, I have a lot to back up what we do to sell properties, right? So that's a given, or else we wouldn't be there, right? The sale's already made, guys. When you walk into the living room, they know we're good. Everyone knows this freaking name's been around for 50 years and we're badasses in the real estate industry. Sale's done. The question is, do they trust you? And so all of these things got to roll in to making sure that they're comfortable with how we're actually presenting, and do they feel like we get them? And that's the whole
I want to ask a question for everybody online. How many of you were doing this as Jeff was doing it? Say yes or no if you weren't doing that as Jeff was doing that. That is the power of rapport. That is the power of connection and the power of trust. I guarantee at least half of you online were doing that. And if you were doing that over Zoom and you felt a connection and an understanding and trust that was there, because wow, I know that sounds crazy, but I believe it. I know that's true. That happened. Holy heck. If you felt that over Zoom, how powerful do you think it would be when you're sitting across the table or next to somebody in a restaurant, in a hotel, or wherever, in like a Starbucks, or even at the dinner table? How powerful do you think that would be if you could get somebody to have that much trust and connection with you by doing that? There's tons of power in that. Like you said, they had 7 seconds to make a decision about Jeff as he walked up. So he went neutral, shut it all off. Don't turn anything on, go right into neutral, start taking it all in. Let's understand. And then you need to make connections. 3 points of commonality that you can find with them. What did he have? Commonality number 1, eye contact. Commonality number 2, rocking back and forth. Commonality number 3, make a point and have your hands like that. And he won right there. It doesn't get any more clear than that. And every single one of you online was doing that exact same thing as he was going through it, because you felt a connection, you felt trust, and you felt, if Jeff put a contract in front of you, you'd sign it like that. Yes. At the bottom, go ahead.
No, this is so important, right? This is it. This is the game. This is, nothing else really matters, right? It honestly does not. This is not just face-to-face. This is text messaging. If Chris is sending me little mermaid emojis with hearts and weird things on it, he's an emoji texter, I'm gonna emoji text back, right? I get an email and there's dots and there's capitals here and there, throw them back, right? Why? Because he likes that. That's how he communicates. This is how you meet him. This is their emails. This is their the way people are dressing. They're giving you the playbook, guys. They're saying, here's how I would like to be trusted. Here's who I would like to work with myself, but I can't. How close can you deliver that to me, right? Just imagine that's the thing they're saying to you as quickly as possible. And then the skill set comes when you're sitting next to husband and wife, and you have to build the rapport with both, and you've got to do a little bit of both. So guys, this is skill, takes time, and this takes you to that next level across the way. So that's just it. I wanted to say that this is not just face-to-face, and especially with Zoom, guys. Oh my gosh, if you're not leveraging Zoom right now and doing, I know we're going to talk a lot about this in buyers too, and sellers. You can build such rapport through Zoom because you're entering their world, their life, their communication, their styles, their facial expressions, their eye contact. Everything is right there. It's so easy, so much better than a phone call. So I hope you're doing that one. And time flies when we're having fun on this, Chris.
And you can do it all while you're not wearing pants on Zoom. That's basically, we covered a lot of these and talked about a lot of these through the whole process. You know, it's just kind of expanding on them just a little bit more. So just keep all this in mind. There's a lot of power in your mindset and your neutrality in the way that you connect with people. And there's so many skills that you can take on. If you want some more help with any of that, reach out to us. We're happy to do some smaller classes, individual classes, or with people one-on-ones. So I really appreciate everybody tuning in. And
last slide real quick, Chris, show it just for the Next Level Resource Center. We have even some more of this when you want to dig into that, and take a look at that, BegginsAgents.com, and then our Next Level Resource Center, and on our C21 Beggins app. Guys, this is the skill set you fundamentally must 100% have this mastered, and we'll help you anyway. So
yep, absolutely.
Very
I'm going
much.
to stop sharing. We're a little over time, so thank you much for sticking in with us. We got one more session. Well, I know we got 2 more sessions coming up, so stay online. You're going to learn about leveraging some of the power. So you guys have a great rest of the day. Jeff, thank you so much. Really appreciated sitting in here with you. So we will talk with y'all soon.